G'day, my beautiful viewers. How are you? This is George. My job today is to produce another episode of Message of Hope. This edition's on the 6th of July 2026. Are you ready? Now, bad news number one. This guy said, I have an autoimmune disease. My stomach is eating itself. So you've read that right? That's not a line from a horror film. That's Brian Johnson. This is the man reportedly spending around $2 million a year trying to never grow old, right? So he's posting it himself in a public just a few days ago. Incredible story. Listen, I'll tell you more. So there were more than 30 doctors and over 100 biomarkers tracked daily. We're talking about blood tests, MRIs, supplements, and a whole bunch of things. You can imagine, it's going to be a pretty busy man. And the thing that finally caught up with him wasn't an accident or even a virus. Yeah, sadly, it was his own stomach that's quickly attacking itself for years. And none of the tests built to catch everything were built to catch that. You can't catch everything, right? The human body is so complex. And I'm going to be honest with you about something here. You see, back at the start of this year, I set myself a challenge. That is to do one video every single day, right through to the last day, 31st of December, 2026. You have to forgive me for being human, but yeah, I did miss one day so far. It's just one. I was so tired that day. I must have forgotten about it. And here's the part I'd rather skip past. That challenge didn't come from discipline, although it does help. It came from fear, right? Let me explain. Before that, I saw on this idea for a long time, right? Telling myself there'll be more time next month, next year, once things settle down. Okay? There's always projects that I'll do. And somewhere in that sitting, it hit me. Now, I don't know how many months I've got left. Okay? That's the question was in my mind. Well, to be frank, none of us do. No matter how best we are in keeping our body in shape. And I did not want to be the man on his deathbed thinking, oh, I wish I had done that. No, not interested at all. So this channel exists, honestly, because I finally believe my own time was shorter than I was treating it. And with God's help, I'm going to continue on. Now have a listen to this. And that's from the Hebrews chapter 9, verse 27, okay? And it says this, okay? And just as it is appointed for man to die once, and after that comes judgment. Now, that verse sits inside a passage building an argument about Christ's finished sacrifice once and for all. Now, it wasn't written as a standalone statement about death, but the principle underneath it holds completely because the appointment is fixed, God's timing. And something comes after it. Someone's going to say, oh, hang on, isn't looking after your own body just about good stewardship? Shouldn't we take care of what God gave us? Yeah, completely. I mean, you can't do much for God's kingdom from a hospital bed you put yourself in through neglect, can you? But here's what Brian Johnson's story actually exposes. You see, death isn't a technical problem waiting on better science. Right in the beginning, Genesis tells us sin brought death into the world in the first place. What a noisy bird. And Paul puts it plainly in Romans. The wages of sin is death. So even if somebody somewhere actually cracked it, like Brian's trying to do, if he gave us 500 years with the technology, that changes nothing about the second half of the verse. Because after that comes judgment. All right? I'm not the candy, fluffy guy, the feel good. I'll tell as it is. 500 years doesn't move the appointment. It just pushes it further down the calendar. The judgment bit I'm talking about. Now, if any of this is landing for you, I'm going to encourage you to subscribe. Hit that like button, please, and share the video to people. Who knows? You might be able to saving them. Now, there was a man I worked under years ago. His name is Greg. He was my team leader when I worked at the bank. He was pretty good to me, I thought. Not bad. As far as I could tell, yeah. Now, he worked in IT for later, when he left, he worked for an IT company, for a tobacco company. Yeah. Now, twice, 2 separate conversations, months apart, of course, I asked him if he would consider putting God in his life. Unfortunately, both times, no. He wasn't rude about it, but he just, no. Don't know what we're talking about. Sure, years have passed. I have never kept in touch with him since he left. Yeah. But then I found out he died from lung cancer. Now, this man is just probably a few years older than I am. What a way to go, hey? I still wonder sometimes if that job has something to do with it. You know, the one he was working for, a tobacco company. I don't know. It's not important. What I do know is I asked him twice, and twice he said no. But I never got a third chance. Perhaps God arranged for someone else who did it instead. I hope he changed his mind before he's passing away. I genuinely do, because I want people to be saved as much as possible. Friends, is there a Greg in your life right now, do you think? Someone you asked once, got turned down, and quietly decided not to bring it up again? Because there'll be a time later. There's always a time later, isn't there? Now, there might not be. Greg died a few years younger than I am now. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening. I've had a wonderful day. I hope you had the same. And of course, as usual, that's today's message of hope. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.